My YouTube video. Well, go on. Came from work. Had work. It was a Sunday today. Came back. Chilled. Had a toilet. Felt good. Amazing. That's life. So many distractions in the universe. Yet, we still are supposed to keep our head on the right path. Social media, friends, I actually had a thought the other day. Said in myself, to myself, not in myself, to myself, said in my head, I was like, no one will really know, this is me talking to you, by the way. No one will really ever know you like you know yourself. No one will ever, like, okay, this is deep, but I was thinking, like, no one, throughout my life, has anyone really known who I am? Even my own parents, really. Like, of course they know who I am, like, they raised me and that, but, like, I mean, like, in and out, like, ins and outs, like, no one will really ever truly get to know you, And I see that as a good thing in certain areas. Not everyone really has to know who you are. Not everyone deserves to know who I am and my life, But then the other side to it is, like, what is it? It's not, I wouldn't even strictly keep it to, like, a relationship thing. I think just in general, like, the people you meet, like, sometimes, my bad, you have to put on, like, a front. You have to put on an act. Of course, I'm still myself. I'm still me. Like, I'm just a regular guy, and that's why when I'm on my own, I'll always continue to be myself and just be weird and bubbly and crazy. Because I am crazy and weird and bubbly, and I'm myself, I'm me. I'm happy the way I am. But then, in a sense, there's also a level of knowing who you are, but people not knowing who you are and imposing their belief of who they see you to be. And then there's that level of playing that role subconsciously, not intentionally, but knowing that when you're in that person's presence or in people's presences, you aren't truly yourself. And I can't lie, I love myself. You should love yourself too. And of course there's levels of love to which you can love. And I think really understanding that is through loving yourself first. I'm not here to say that I love myself and that I'm the best. I love myself. I definitely think it's a process. I think recognition, acknowledgement of awareness, knowing who you really are. I think one thing I've always said is I hate labels. I hate labels. Like girlfriend, boyfriend. Now, of course, we do need labels. This is specifically about relationships, but I'm saying all in general. Like, of course, there's certain like topics that we're not going to go into. I'm not going to say because it's controversial and that, but like, I'm just talking about in general. Like, when you label a person as something, when you say someone something, you constrict them to that view. If they allow that phrase or whatever has been said about them, if they allow that to affect them, then that will be a part of who they become. So how much of you is really you, and how much of you is really other people imposing their values and beliefs and views onto you? That's another question. That's one thing that I've been dissecting a lot, and I've acknowledged in my own life, like when I'm around certain people, when I have been in certain points of my life, like, it's the people that I'm around that have made me who I am. It's not me. Of course, I'm still me. I'm still myself in that predicament. Like, I'm still myself. but I'm not. You really have to think about it, fam. You really have to follow what I'm saying. But like, you see, with me, another thing I've clocked is I speak in like riddles. Like, I speak like in analogies and shit. And like, I go around in circles sometimes, and then people be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But I hope you can understand what I'm saying. But yeah, like, when you... Okay, we'll speak about this quote. Because awareness is a really big thing. You know, awareness, not just in yourself, I think. Because I've had awareness knowing everything that I want and feel for myself. But you can't just do that. You don't have all the answers. You know? And I'll be real, some things can't ever be answered. Some things will never ever make sense. And some things will make sense, but still, like, you don't want to make sense to the sense behind it, because it still don't even make sense. Even though it makes sense. I'm talking about, like, events and things that just happen and you're just like, wow, like, you know, that shows. But another part of awareness for me is God consciousness. Being aware that there is something higher than you. Being aware that there's powers that are more vast in this world, to which you as a human, a ball of energy, must understand to excel in who you are, because you will never find clarity by talking to another person, and you'll never find clarity talking to yourself like that. Like, I feel like sometimes as humans we hold on to things. I feel like the only way to let go, for me especially, has just been to like leave it to God, you know, because He knows everything. He understands everything. And if it's happened, it's happened for a reason. It's deeper than rap. And there's so many things in life that are so unfair. You look around the world don't even make sense. How, like, the world don't make sense. Like, generally, just take yourself out of your lens out of the lens of social media and like all of these things that have been imposed onto you. Social media is a big thing, I'll tell you that. But blank slate, and then you just look around the world. Look at, you know, UK. Look at US. Calm, nice buildings, nice, but the people are so crooked. We look at Africa. Beautiful, rich in resources. You're in parts of Asia, like all over the world. There's so much beauty. There's so much beauty in, not beauty, so much beauty in just existence. Like, even me just looking at this mat, even me just looking at this poster, looking at myself in the screen, like all of these things, only when you really like humble yourself, you learn to appreciate that, you know, you're so minuscule. So to be alone, because generally we are all alone. Even when you're with people, you're still alone. That's deep. But I feel like my way of thinking, I feel like I'm going through an arc right now where I'm generally going to just find myself. I will find myself, and I am going to, and I'm going to work on that for sure. I feel like everyone, even you, should work on yourself. I feel like it's a point in life at which people need to... There's this quote that says, people live two lives. The first life they live is just peace, blessing. Like, you're just living life. Life is just life. And then the second life you live is when you realize that you have one life, or you realize that you die, even, like, or you realize that there's nothing after this. And I had that realization hit me, and it doesn't just have to be that. I feel like just in general, like, awareness, you know, You live your second life when you really start to sit down with yourself. And I'm not saying, because I've been aware from 14, but I've still been going through shit and living life like a madman, you know? I think the thing that really set in stone for me is having faith and having, you know, that certainty in the future, certainty and knowing that everything is going to be okay. But to add to that, a lot of people let their environment determine who they become. And your environment will determine who you'll become, by the way. That's not to say that your environment doesn't matter. I mean, it's very situational. I'm speaking about your environment doesn't matter. No, your environment does matter in the present moment that you are in. You know, if you're in the present moment, hanging and chilling around a bunch of people who go out and drink every week and go party like almost every day, that is the life that you most likely will inhabit. Even if you don't want to. I mean, of course, we are free-willed humans and we're able to choose what we want to do. And acknowledging that, you know, for me personally, that my environment shapes who I am. Like, because I know myself, I'm not a party person, but I've been in relationships and circles where people have partied and somehow I've ended up at a party, but I don't party. So why am I at a party? Do you get what I'm saying? So you need to peep that shit. Peep that shit. Peep your environment. Peep what's around you. Peep the people you're with every day. Peep the things that you consume. Peep the things that you tell yourself. Your environment is what... Let me slow my roll there. You get a bit too philosophical. But, like I was saying, environment, don't let that shape you. Your internal world, once you realise whatever goes on around you really cannot affect you, once you really know that it can't affect you, like genuinely, fam, so much shit has happened to me and it affects me. When it comes up, it can affect you. Like, we are humans. We have feelings. We're not fucking robots. We're gonna feel shit. We're gonna hurt. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna love. Do you know what I mean? And to go through all of these things, that's what being human is. But then to also be able to understand that there's some sort of... Mums, I forgot what I was saying. But the internal state of mind is so important. What I mean by that is knowing that what's inside matters more than what's going on around you. Then you start to see change and growth. Of course, like, it's a hard one, I'll be real, because you can be in positions in life to which you are, like I said, very aware of your internal state, but things can still stay the same. You ask yourself, why am I still in the same boat? Why, like, mentally I'm deep in so many things, mentally in my head I'm thinking all of these things, and I know. But that's how people eat themselves up alive. There's also a balance you need to have. Cool, the external doesn't determine who you are. The internal is the main driver, the main power source to everything that you do. So favoring, shielding, protecting, obsessing, loving, pouring into oneself is important in terms of the mental state, but then there's also the physical state of that. There's a physical state of pouring into yourself. A lot of people pour into themselves mentally. That's what ego is. ego. Okay, ego is a complicated one, so we're gonna leave that for today. And it's not really what ego is. I lost my trail of thought. My point is that when you invest into yourself, don't think that you're just gonna tell yourself, I'm gonna speak and I'm gonna feel, and you know, nothing physical or mental. God doesn't reward, or you won't be rewarded. I don't want to, you know, subject it strictly to God, even though that is, to me, and I'm telling you, is the most important pillar of life, to have that awareness, have that in your head always, and you will be calm. But like I said, intention is the only first step to actually bring that intention, that idea, that creation to life. To have proof, to reinforce the belief in who you are, you must do. We are human beings, we must be being. But as human beings, we don't be sometimes. We don't be doing what we need to do. We don't do. You know, a lot of people just say, you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? These things are so like philosophy, in terms of philosophy, like, you can't talk the talk, you can't walk the walk. If you can't walk the walk, actions speak louder than words. Like, it's true, more true than true. Because once you finally start acting, it reinforces the mental clarity of knowing where you need to be. Because you, as a human, will have ideas and creations and things that you want to do. But if you don't do it, how are you going to be able to tell yourself, oh, this is something that I wanted to do and should have done and did whatever? Do you know what I mean? Like, these things come to us to be acted upon, you know? And that's where I'm at in life. I'm at a point where I've analysed everything. I understand it all. I understand it. Maybe not fully. You know, I feel like I'm still on that journey every single day, and definitely need to like ramp it up and really like, you know, become obsessed with myself, and not in a crazy way. Like, generally, like, guys, if you're not obsessed with yourself, who will be? Because you won't know yourself enough to be open with someone. I can say that because I've been in long ass relationships where I know me. I'm a good guy. Alhamdulillah. Thank God. Praise God. And I know you watching this, making it this far, you are amazing, you're beautiful, and you deserve the world. But only you can give yourself that. Only you can give yourself that. No one else is gonna come serve on a platter everything that you've ever wanted without fucking some fucked up twisted shit behind it. If you really wanna be proud, and I mean, maybe not fucked up. I mean, like, I'm saying, like, from my perspective, because this is me speaking. Like, you know, I know that in this life I ain't gonna make it if I don't do what I need to do, and I know I will make it because I'm going to do what I need to do, and I want everyone to inhibit that attitudes to themselves and hold themselves accountable, as if you're your friend, you're your own brethren, you're your best friend, you're your best friend. You know, love yourself. A lot of people are too negative to themselves. I can say I was a victim of this. You know, I've been in positions where I've been down bad, and I've hated myself. Hate, like, hate is strong. I've hated myself. Hated. Not disliked, I've hated. I blamed myself, I've been there. You know, being in that state of mind, wallahi, I can never go back. I've been there. I've really been there. And sometimes I still catch myself slipping into that version of myself that I was once before. Because generally, I've been there. And once you get down there, and you get there again, it only gets worse. You know? That's not to scare you. It's to really make you understand that in this life, you have to have balance. In this life, there is no balance. But you have to find your balance. There's going to be some days where you notice yourself going down. But it's about the noticing. If you're just going down and you're happy with that, you're comfortable with that, and you're allowing yourself to suffer in that beliefs grow. Beliefs can either grow or decline. If you are a person who feeds into those beliefs being, oh, I'm depressed, and then actually acting on that, like I was saying before, when you do things, say for example, bedrotten, you know, lazy, you know, like just, like I said, hating yourself, like this is something that can tie back into what I was saying in terms of doing like a belief in knowing who you are. And that belief can be a negative or positive one. You can choose the belief that you water. That seed that is planted will become into, like, think of it as a tree. Like, you plant this belief, it's a seed, and you water and you grow and nourish that by, you know, the mental reinforcement, the physical reinforcement, the spiritual reinforcement. You know, it's generally deeper. Life is deeper. Guys don't think deeper. I feel like too many guys are surface level, and that's why, you know, inshallah, I will continue, and I pray for all of you people watching this to be surrounded and blessed with people who are befitting and like-minded and want to be at a position where, you know, you see yourself also being in a sense of growth. You know, I don't mean in the sense of, oh, I want to be an astronaut. Oh, I want to be a professional vacuum cleaner seller. Or, I don't know, that just came to my brain. Like, your goals don't have to be aligned, but to be aligned in the sense of who you want to be. The life that you want to create for yourself and inhibit. You know? The values, the beliefs. I don't see myself being surrounded around by negative people. I feel like everything I've said kind of really like ties together. So I'm gonna leave it there. That was a nice talk. Anyways, I'm gonna stop being mad. Make sure you have a good day. Take care of yourself. And love yourself. And care about yourself. Because you are the best. You should know that.